Hey everyone, welcome back to Raveling Money. If you've been following along, you already know we're covering some crucial personal finance topics to help you take control of your money. Today, we're talking about something that's absolutely essential for your financial security: building an emergency fund. Now, I know the idea of setting aside money for emergencies might not sound super exciting, but trust me, having an emergency fund can make all the difference in your life. We'll break it down into simple steps. So let's get started. What is an emergency fund? So let's start with the basics. What exactly is an emergency fund? Simply put, it's money you set aside for unexpected expenses. Life is full of surprises, and while some of them are great, like a surprise birthday party or a bonus at work, others, like car accidents, medical bills, or losing your job, are not so great. Think about it like this. You're driving to work, and your car suddenly breaks down. If you don't have an emergency fund, you might have to rely on credit cards or loans to pay for the repairs. But if you've got an emergency fund, you can just pay for the repairs and move on without the stress of debt. Why you need an emergency fund? Why is an emergency fund so important? Well, life happens. You can't predict when things are going to go wrong, but you can prepare for it. Having an emergency fund gives you peace of mind and helps you avoid the financial stress that comes with unexpected events. Without an emergency fund, any unexpected expense feels like a major setback. But when you have that cushion, it's like a safety net. You can handle life's little surprises without throwing your whole financial situation off track. How much should you save? Now let's talk about the big question. How much should you save for an emergency fund? The general rule of thumb is to save 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This gives you enough to cover rent, utilities, groceries, and other basic needs if something unexpected happens, like losing your job or facing a medical emergency. For example, if your monthly expenses are $2,000, aim to have at least $6,000 to $12,000 saved up. Of course, this can vary depending on your lifestyle, responsibilities, and how much stability you have in your job or income. But having at least a few months of expenses covered is a solid starting point. Where to keep your emergency fund? So, where should you keep your emergency fund? You want to make sure the money is easily accessible, but not too tempting to dip into for non-emergencies. A high-yield savings account or a money market account is a good choice because they offer easy access and usually give you a bit of interest on your savings. Here is a tip. Make sure your emergency account is separate from your regular checking account so you're not tempted to spend it on everyday purchases. Some apps even allow you to set up a rainy day account for just this purpose. How to start building your emergency fund. Okay, let's talk about how you can start building your emergency fund today. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't need to save everything all at once. Just take it one step at a time. Step 1. Start with a small goal. Set a small, achievable goal first. Maybe it's saving $500 or $1,000 in the next 3 months. Once you hit that target, you'll feel motivated to keep going. Step 2. Automate your savings. One of the easiest ways to build your emergency fund is by automating your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account every paycheck. Even if it's just $50 or $100, it adds up over time. Automation helps make saving effortless. You won't even have to think about it. Step 3. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Look for ways to cut back on non-essential spending. Maybe you can skip a few takeout meals each week, or reduce your entertainment budget. Take that extra money and put it straight into your emergency fund. That's it. 3 steps to build your emergency funds. Here is a real-life example. Let's look at Sarah's example again. She's 28 and works as a teacher. Sarah has a goal to build an emergency fund of $3,000. She starts by saving $100 from each paycheck and setting aside any bonuses she gets. After a few months, she's able to build up her fund and has the peace of mind knowing she's prepared for anything that comes her way. By starting small and being consistent, Sarah was able to build her emergency fund without feeling stressed about it. And now, she's ready for any surprises life throws her way. Common mistakes to avoid. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go over a few common mistakes people make when it comes to emergency funds. Using your emergency fund for non-emergencies. Remember, your emergency fund is only for true emergencies. If you dip into it for things like a vacation or a new gadget, you are undoing all your hard work. Not having enough saved. While 3 to 6 months of living expenses is ideal, any amount is better than nothing. Start small and build over time, not keeping it accessible. Make sure your emergency fund is easy to access when you need it, but not so easily accessible that you'll use it for everyday expenses. And there you have it. Building an emergency fund is one of the smartest financial moves you can make. It gives you stability, peace of mind, and the confidence to handle life's unexpected challenges without throwing off your whole financial situation. Remember, you don't have to build your emergency fund overnight. Start small, stay consistent, and you'll get there. The important thing is getting started. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who could use the info, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or want to share your tips for building an emergency fund. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more personal finance content. I'll see you in the next video.